then to when the lockdown should be ended and how. We're joined by Dr. Bharat Pankhania, who is a senior clinical lecturer at the University of Exeter Medical School. Dr. Pankhania, thank you very much for joining us. So how then do you manage to lift restrictions but not allow the infection rate to rocket again?
Thank you. We need to ask ourselves the fundamental question, which is why did we have a lockdown? And we had the lockdown to prevent the surge in number of cases. And we need to be aware of that and work with that in mind. So this shutdown that we've had is an opportunity to build up stocks of personal protective equipment, respirators, and all the other things that we need, testing kits, an army of people recruited to do contact tracing and follow up these cases at home. And when we feel we're ready with that, you may consider opening up the economy a little at a time. This has to be taken very slowly and very carefully.
How likely is it then we will see some lifting of restrictions in 3 weeks?
I just do not see it because I have no evidence that, the government has told us, yes, we have stockpiled our PPE. Yes, we have got lots of respirators. Yes, we have done all our testing kits. And yes, we are definitely going to do contact tracing. I think it is better to be clear with our people that even the shutdown isn't a cure. The shutdown is only a cure for one thing, reducing the surge in number of cases. So after the shutdown is over, we will expect a rise in number of cases. That's biological, that's normal. So we need to be prepared for another surge when the shutdown is lifted.
How likely is it, though, that we'll have restrictions lifted, reimposed, and almost sort of yo-yo between the two states?
It is inevitable. And again, this is a conversation we should be having with our people now. It is always better to sort of say it up front, this is our expectation, and therefore people can be prepared. Because every time you remove the shutdown, people are vulnerable to infection. This is a new virus. It's a pandemic strain. Therefore, they will get infected. Therefore, we will have a rise in number of cases. It's inevitable.
You mentioned testing. You mentioned contact tracing. How important is it going to be to have a vaccine and an antibodies test so that we know whether we've built up individually some immunity?
Testing is very important, and let me address the issue of this antibody test. Coronavirus is very peculiar, and in that the coronavirus doesn't necessarily produce immunity post-infection. Or should we say, we don't know if it produces strong immunity post-infection. Therefore, all that an antibody test can tell me is you have survived an infection. We need to be very, very clear about it. Antibody positive does not mean you are immune. We need to find out if you are also immune.
How wise is it that we're seeing some countries like Austria, Denmark, the Czech Republic beginning the process of trying to return to normal this week? It will, of course, add pressure onto our politicians here to do the same.
And this is what I am observing, which is people follow in a concertina manner. What we need is a strong backbone. We were slow. We were dragging our feet. We were reluctant to do a shutdown. We finally did a shutdown. Now, we shouldn't suddenly start following our European partners unless we are absolutely sure that we can manage post-shutdown. And the key criteria are we prepared? And if we are prepared, you gently lift it, not because the Europeans have done it, but because you know you can manage.
There has been criticism that countries, even within the European Union, have not been particularly working together. They've acted in a self-interested way at times, which I suppose, honestly, you can understand. How important is it going to be to have an international effort to make sure that we don't see another surge in cases?
You ask a really, really important question, and it pains me immensely to hear President Trump removing funding from WHO, because what will happen is you will have free runaway infection in other parts of the world. And when you have free runaway infection in the poorer parts of the world, it will come to harm us in second, third, fourth waves. And the virus can become endemic, meaning it stays within the community and it keeps on circulating. Therefore, international efforts are extremely important. We need to work for our country, but we also need to work to help other countries suppress their cases. That way we will succeed.
Fascinating to talk to you, Dr. Bharat Pankhania from the University of Exeter. We really appreciate your insight this morning. Thank you.